T minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.
That's right, you guys. Welcome to Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. I am your EIC of Women's Wrestling Talk, Driune Santana, and we're here with my lovely co-host, Stephanie Hardy of the Queen Steph Hardy podcast. How are you doing, Stephanie?
I'm doing good. Always happy to be here with my favorite tag team partner, which is you. So yeah, we're up in here and it's Friday. So yeah, it's cool.
Awesome. Of course. I mean, of course, it's Friday. You know, we are again with the Friday and SmackDown and Rampage after show. Like, it was a lot. You know, I would have to say that SmackDown, it was okay. It wasn't too much really happening. It wasn't a lot going on. And I guess because they considered this to be like an off week because they were filming 2 SmackDown, so one for tonight and then the one for next week. Since they're going to be going on their European tour. But it was cool. Rampage, it was a lot. It was a lot that happened on Rampage that they really fit into their 1 hour. But while we're at it, let's go ahead and start with SmackDown. Because, you know, last week Rampage started at the beginning and they just don't want us to be great. That's what I think it is. They want us to be great. So they want to put SmackDown back to where it is. Well, Rampage back to where it is. It's just like, all right. So here we are, the opening of the show. The contract signing between the SmackDown Women's Champion, Charlotte Flair, and of course, Ronda Rousey. And I mean, there was a little situation going on here. I mean, how can you have a contract signing and there's no contract present? Drew Gulak had to run out there with the contract, which caused a lot of still commotion between. He's obviously still unhappy about what Charlotte Flair did to him last week, but what Ronda did to him this week didn't make it any better. It just seemed like Drew Gulak is the butt of the joke, and really is the start of this feud between these two. If we're being honest, I mean, it was interesting. It was a way to kind of just, I guess, get the women out of the way, which it really wasn't that much. We didn't have any women's matches tonight. Just 2 women segments, but it was cool. We got to see a little something from Ronda. You know, of course, Charlotte, I beat you at WrestleMania. I beat her. Let it be known that I beat you at WrestleMania. So that means that come WrestleMania Backlash, I'm going to beat you again. So, and then I know that next week they're supposed to have a I Quit Beat the Clock match and within their own prospective opponents. For those who may know the spoilers, you may know exactly who it is. For those who don't, we would like to keep it that way so that we can talk about it next week. So thank you very much. You want, yeah. So that pretty much took place, and the contract signing, it did happen. And Charlotte flipped over the table onto Ronda and hit Ronda with a kendo stick, which Ronda did not sell at all. It's just like you popping your kid for doing something, and they continue doing the same thing you just popped them for, as if the pop never happened. So that's what I feel like exactly what transpired with this here. And like I said, Drew Gulak became the star of the feud because he ended up being in an armbar while Rhonda signs the contract. So now we have it. There will be an I Quit match at WrestleMania Backlash for the SmackDown Women's Champion between Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey. Um,
Wow.
yeah, that was a lot that transpired at that time. So I mean, Stephanie, do you think Ronda will have an advantage over Charlotte if she does win this beat the clock challenge, this I Quit beat the clock challenge next week?
Whew, I don't know. I feel like if she does win the beat the clock challenge, it would give her some wind underneath her sails, which I feel
Mm-hmm.
like she is in need of because, it's like anytime she has anything to say, it's like it doesn't really land with the most intensity that it's like something that she really wants to beat Charlotte. I'm not fully invested in the idea that Ronda really wants to beat Charlotte for the sake of
Mm-hmm.
taking that title off of her.
Right.
And it's just, I mean, I guess it would give her some wind in her sails, but at the same time, it's like they're really, sort of pushing the idea that Charlotte can win with the strength of her own submission as well.
Yeah.
So I'm not necessarily sure, but from what I hear, because I missed this part of SmackDown, is the fact that Rhonda, when it comes to contract signings, it's like she's always getting a table flipped over on her. Like, because that happened the first time when she was signing the
Mm-hmm.
contract with her and her tag team match with Kurt Angle when they were going up against Triple H and Stephanie. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just like, Jesus Christ, Rhonda. It's like Charlotte just has so much momentum going in, and Jesus Christ, like Drew Gulak is the most versatile person in this whole feud. Like I've never expected him to become a part of this in this way.
Mm-hmm.
But it is interesting to see. So really, who knows? But I am excited for it regardless, though.
Yeah, Joseph said that this was a great signing. His favorite part was Ronda showing some sass and signing her contract while having an armbar on Pierce's new assistant, which happens to be Drew Gulak. That was
Mm,
quite interesting. And Chad said the contract signing was okay. I like Charlotte's line, but I still don't care about the story as much as the I Quit match itself, which is
mhm.
opposed of most feuds where I care about story more. So I think more so like the story build up forward. I mean, it is all right, but I guess within coming weeks of, I mean, WrestleMania Backlash, I mean, it's not going to be long. We're really about to be in May, like 2 weeks. So like from 2 weeks from now is WrestleMania Backlash. So I mean, so a lot of things are going to be transpiring and taking place, and we'll just figure out exactly who's going to say I quit. Is it going to be Charlotte or is it going to be Ronda? We at this time we really don't know. What I do know is that I am tired of this guy right here losing his matches. Like I hate it. I hate everybody knows exactly how I feel about Pete Dunne. I don't know who this Butch guy is. The new person. But everybody knows how I feel about Pete Dunne and everything of that nature. And Xavier Woods having a match again tonight and ended up in the same situation, backwoods, what Xavier calls his new finisher now, which is just nothing but a regular old razzle dazzle fruit roll up that people normally been doing for the longest. Not that I say everything against Xavier Wood. I do not. I do love the New Day, but come on, man.
Fruit roll-ups are delicious, though. I will say that.
They are. They definitely are. But these backwoods, they give you cancer, I think. But I don't I don't know. Like I just I mean, like I said, this feud is still building. And even after the match, Butch attacked some guy in the audience, and then they lost him once again, and he was never recovered. So if any of you guys have seen the Butch, please let us know where you find him. There's not a reward for it, but whenever you guys find that man, please return him because we don't know what exactly he's doing out there. I will say that.
Have you seen him?
Have
Tell
you?
me, have you seen him?
Have you? Because he's nowhere to be found. We don't know where. The last time we saw him, he was beating up a guy in the audience, and then after that, he left. So we don't really know what happened with Butch. But if you guys find him, please return him. immediately. We don't know who he has jumped on next in the facility. But we do have a match coming up next week in a backstage interview. Well, not backstage, backstage segment between Ricochet and Aliyah. Aliyah finally makes her way back onto the TV screen because she hasn't been seen in a minute. And of course,
Right.
somehow she always just happened to be there when Ricochet is there. Like, I don't know what they got going on there, but she managed to always be there when Ricochet is backstage. It was the same thing with Ricochet, Leah, and Ali. She just happens to be present, and I'm not understanding why. But she was just kind of asking him what's next. Who will your next opponent be? You pretty much beaten, gender and everything of that nature. So I mean, what's next? And Gender and Shanky made their appearance, and Gender was still upset about the fact that he lost last week. So Shanky was like, "Why don't you face me? You may have been my partner here, but why don't you face me in a match for the Intercontinental title?" And that's exactly what's going to happen. So next week there will be a Intercontinental Championship match between Ricochet and Shanky. So Stephanie, do you? I mean, I don't know what's going to transpire here. I mean, it's possible that Ricochet is probably going to win this title, but at least give him some type of feud or something to do in the midst of him not really being involved with a lot of stuff, right?
Yeah, I sort of feel that way too. It just seems like they're sort of putting anyone in front of Ricochet just
Mm-hmm.
to say he'll defend his title until someone of more um what's the word I'm looking for?
Like
Hmm.
of
Like
a
of a higher
believable,
caliber will face him.
well, like a believable opponent, someone who
Yeah.
of high caliber that they know could actually give Ricochet a run for his money.
Yeah, I feel like that's what they're doing. Is like they're doing that until someone really does step forward to him and, gives him a threat.
Mm-hmm.
But I really don't think too much of this because I just feel like this is just another way that they can, highlight Ricochet and have him defend his title in another successful manner. And then um Shanky won't win, but I guess he'll try to use his strength and also gender to sort of get the upper hand, but either way he still won't win because Ricochet is Ricochet. Now about the Aliyah thing, we had some people in the comments talking about, where they think Aliyah might be going. Um Chad said Aliyah could be the future Kayla Braxton. That's pretty interesting.
I don't know about
Um
that.
Another person said we might be getting Sammy, our writer, said we might be getting Samantha versus Aaliyah. And I thought that was really interesting because I mean, you said she's always there with him, so there could
I
be some
mean,
type
she
of on-screen
is.
romance. I don't know.
Child. Again, spicy. I'll tell you that. If it does so transpire that Samantha does sometimes get like a little backstage role or whatever, because Aaliyah is making odds at her man and asking him all these questions, um, girl, you better do something. Bobby said that he would like to see Ricochet versus Kofi Kingston one day. That'll be nice, but I think they could
Yes.
be possibly edging for Ricochet versus Xavier Woods because
Ooh,
Xavier
yes.
Woods did say he want to take that title to him, but someone down in the neck of woods in NXT 2.0, my fave Carmelo Hayes, and Ricochet has a few words to say on Twitter earlier this week.
Oh,
How
really?
Carmelo said that he'll take his title and send him back to catering or whatever. It was a little, Carmelo. He's always finding his way to mess with the main roster guys. Like he's always in some type of situation, which I love. I love the violence. I love the chaos. I love somebody who can be on a different show and talk trash to somebody else. It's everything. So I wouldn't be mad about that or anything of that nature. But yeah, I think that Joseph said that I expect Jenner to be desperate because it looks like he was upset that Shanky won the shot. He wants to be the one to dethrone Ricochet. And I mean, it could be possible.
Could be.
It could be possible.
Because when was the last time we saw Gender with the title?
A very, very long time, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very long time. Very. However, we've been seeing a lot of this guy, Gunther, beat up a lot of local talent. The person he defeated tonight was Teddy Goods. Um, you know, I wouldn't say, I've I've recently had a chance to actually sit there and watch a lot of Walter indie matches, and I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's a beautiful moment. I will say that. But I mean, this is kind of like the way to just kind of build him up on the main roster, show some dominance and superiority that he has there on the main roster as he's beating up these local talents before he kind of jumps into being in a feud with somebody. There are a lot of potential feuds that could be created. I think I want to see a Gunther versus Drew McIntyre at the Battle of the Chops because
Mm.
Drew McIntyre gives some good chops, and Gunther, mm, he he definitely gives some very very interesting chops as well. Sometimes you might bleed. Who really knows that will transpire? But it just still feels kind of weird. Only having what is it, Ludwig, Marcel as his the only person there. And not the other guy being there too. So it's just like it
Yeah, it
feels
is
kind of
odd.
weird. But like I said, it's just kind of a way to like build him up, basically. I don't know who his first feud would be, but I mean, I would love to see him and Drew McIntyre have a feud with each other. I really would. Or him
Me
go with
too.
Sheamus, because Sheamus give really good chops too. Like, I think
Mm-hmm.
that'd be great. I would love that.
Yep, they would both have really red chests.
They really would. Chad said I'd like to see Gunther versus Ricochet. Ricochet gonna die.
Oh no, why would you do that to him, Chad?
Who wants
Why would you
to
do that to
Who
him?
wants to see a massacre? Okay. Bobby said Teddy Goods have wrestled on AEW Dark and Elevation in the scene. He definitely has. Like he's just like a local talent.
Okay.
Joseph said, I think after a while Gunther will be tested against the best SmackDown has. They still get Imperium adjusted to the main roster life, and there's nothing wrong with that. Yes, I have seen Pete Dunne versus Walter, and it was a very interesting match. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I believe that is when Pete Dunne actually lost his title in that match. So yeah. I want to see Gunther versus Roman Reigns.
Yes, book it, cowards.
I would love to see Gunther chop the hell out of Roman Reigns. You have absolutely no idea. I would love to see Gunther like chop that man in various of ways. Okay, I
Oh,
really, 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 really would. You have no idea. It would have made my day. Um, Yeah, yeah, but I don't know if they want to put him in a mid card title match already or something like that, like have him a mid card title. But it's like I said, it's baby steps. To just work your way up, let people get familiarized with who he is, and like I said, build their name up and so on and so forth. Um, Sammy says, "I'm sorry, but what is Gunther doing pinning people like Rhea now? Yeah,
mm,
people can get pinned like that for a very very long time. I promise you, they really have." Um, Speaking of someone who I wish would pin me like that, Randy Orton is
oh
present
God.
on Friday Night SmackDown. I mean, how can you not love Randy Orton? And of course, Riddle is there, and of course, Drew McIntyre is present as well. And I mean, come on, relive history. I mean, Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre are no strangers to each other, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And you got Riddle standing there like the little brother who just got brought along because his mom said bring him on because he can't stay at home alone. So I mean, it was a nice way to get familiarized with everything. I mean, they had their own conversation and everything in regards to the lumberjack match that was going to take place later on that night between Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn, who we're going to find out exactly who he went to later on as we continue on. But I mean, it's history there, Roman Reigns, well, not Roman, but he's somewhere. He was somewhere chilling the whole night, so we really didn't see him. Oh my god. Chad, please. Not this is PG, okay? But But yeah, so I mean, with this here, I know Stephanie, I know. What did you think? I mean, we want to be celebrating 20 years of Randy Orton on Monday. Definitely are, but
Yeah, I can't believe it's been 20 years. I really
right?
can't. Like, but then I can believe it though, because it's just like I feel like I've been watching him since I was like midway preteen to teen to
Mm-hmm.
now. So it's just like, yeah, it makes sense. So he deserves the right to sort of relax and just enjoy his
Yeah.
career and make peace with people whom he's had previous grievances with. And Drew McIntyre is one of those people, and it seems like Matt Riddle is definitely like a good influence on him to try to,
Yeah.
heal those grievances and stuff. So, but of course, later on in the night that did have its own consequences. But, in the midst of that, with Randy sort of celebrating himself and sitting back and smelling the roses that people are giving to him, it's nice
Mm-hmm.
to sort of see him, sort of, build bridges back again and have allies and stuff and just be a good guy because we've seen him be a bad guy for so long. He has his
We've
own episode
definitely
of WWE Evil, for crying out loud. So it's nice to see him, be a champion and enjoy himself and just be happy with Riddle and stuff. So him and Drew are cool now, and I believe that's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's cool to see Randy. Like, it's nice to see them kind of float around from Raw to SmackDown. I thoroughly enjoy it.
Me too.
Um, it's nice to see. With Riddle and Orton, it led up to the singles match of the night between the Uso, well, Jay Uso and Riddle, which Riddle came out on top, of course. I mean, and Cousin Roman wasn't too ecstatic about that. But all in all, this was a really really good match. I'm thoroughly enjoying this feud between these four. You have someone like the veteran Randy Orton working with a newcomer like Riddle, and then of course like the Usos. They're considered to be like veterans within the tag team division and whatnot. They're definitely been there for a very very long time. So I mean, this feud here, it definitely like kind of gears you up to be prepared to figure out, okay, the unification of these tag team titles is supposed to be happening. WrestleMania Backlash. Do you think, as of right now, Riddle has the upper hand on both of the Usos? He's beaten both of them.
Right.
So maybe we'll see, flip flop and let Randy face both of them, in some kind of way or whatever. Do you think RK Bro will have the advantage going into WrestleMania Backlash?
I feel like they will have the advantage going into WrestleMania Backlash. But I also feel that a lot of the time, the team who has the most momentum in terms of singles wins winds up somehow or another flopping, and
Hmm.
the opposite team winds up winning.
Yeah.
So it's possible that the Usos may go back to the drawing board, of course, with their tribal chief, and put their heads together and figure some stuff out to sort of come out on top and become those unified tag champions like they really want to, so they can match up with their cousin. But
Hmm.
however, it does seem like RK Bro does have their number, because
Hmm.
they've really been operating on a very high frequency ever since they retained those titles at WrestleMania and even before then.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it could go either way between these two teams, but I will say that RK Bro does have the momentum heading into Backlash and probably will try to maintain it. Of course, that is if they decide for Orton to face the both of the Usos the same way Riddle did. But it is good on Riddle that he actually beat both the Usos. That's something he
Hmm.
could, hang his hat on for the rest of his career. So that's cool.
Definitely. I definitely would have to agree with that. So I mean, I don't know. I think it'll be real interesting to see if the Usos lose those titles.
Mm,
It'll be a sad day for the bloodline.
it will.
Such a sad, pitiful day. Such a sad.
That you will find joy in, Santana. But I will
Honestly,
not.
no, but here's the thing. I love the Usos. I have absolutely no problem with the Usos. None whatsoever. But their cousin, if I can flush my toilet right now, I would. Um, But as we move over to some people who I've actually been enjoying seeing on my screen, we get it. You can be head of the table all day, but eventually it can get cut in half. All right. So moving on to some more women. Sasha
Yay.
and Naomi make their way to the ring, talking with Kayla in the ring and everything, talking about how, we won our titles. Poor Rhea and Liv just seem they can't get along, and now Liv got beat up. So it's like, wow, okay. Finally, congratulations. And then they just say, we really, we who do we have to face? We really don't have anybody to face. And then of course Natalya and Shayna makes their presence, and solidifies himself as being the next women's tag team champions. Could this match possibly go into WrestleMania Backlash to give, the Boston Glow connection some tag team opponents? I believe it would. I don't think they would be losing those titles any time soon. But I mean, this is a start of something. Maybe they don't win there. Shayna and Natty wins there at WrestleMania Backlash, but maybe at SummerSlam.
Mm.
Who knows? I mean, let's give it some type of build going on there, so that it kind of like makes some type of sense until we really don't know where Carmella and Zelina is going to be put at or whatever. They're not even. I don't think they're even together anymore. So it's like, well, let's figure it out. Who like if we don't have Natty and Shayna, it's like, well, who do you have?
Right.
So I'm excited for this feud. I mean, Natty doing double duties and beating up the kids in NXT 2.0 and still, doing what she does on the main roster. It wouldn't be Natty if she didn't do it anyway. So what do you think about this feud here? Are you ready? I mean, Shayna pushed the hell out of Sasha Banks. I mean,
She really did. It was
they pushed
disrespectful.
that girl so hard, Lord. That was funny.
Yeah, it was mad disrespectful, but I will say this though. I do admire Natty and Shayna, stepping up in the sense that they weren't the team that got covered
Mhm.
at WrestleMania at all in terms of
Yeah.
them not winning the titles, but still they didn't get covered. So they have a
Mhm.
case
Yeah.
to challenge for those tag titles. And then outside of that, there's the case of there's really no other tag team at this point, which is sad, but that's um just a common symptom of what's going on in wrestling today. It's just I'm actually looking forward to it, and I actually like the idea that Natty's name is on so many different, sub fans' lips now in the sense of in
Mhm.
NXT 2.0 and sort of making those girls actually, rise up within themselves to see if they can face them and sort of
Mhm.
make something out of their careers with that because she is a veteran. And then you also have her doing double duty on SmackDown. So it's just kind of like, it's like Natty is here, Natty's there, Natty's everywhere.
Mhm.
And it's really good that she's getting this, type of treatment because she's definitely worth it because she's so talented. And it seems like she's tapping into a more vicious, angrier side of her that an
Yeah.
edge to her that we really haven't seen much of before. So I'm really excited about that. And I'm excited for Shayna too, even though I feel some type of way because I feel like they never let Shayna go on her own
No.
on the main roster. They always place her with somebody. And I feel like that's a little bit annoying and long in the tooth now. So, but yeah, it's going to be a good match for the tag titles regardless.
Yeah, I do feel the same way in regards to Shayna. I feel like Shayna does deserve to have at least one proper singles run.
Yes.
She's an amazing wrestler. She can talk on the mic. Let her be her. Let her be the heel that she is. You know what I'm saying? Like it would be great. But I mean, it just seems like, I just think that, Vince just doesn't feel like she's a main eventer or worthy of being a singles champion or being like the face of like the women's division or anything of that nature when she's really, really good. Chad said when Nia and Shayna were champions, there were no real challengers. So Natty and Shayna will be good long time champs when Sasha and Naomi move on to their own thing. I mean, yeah, that's true. Um, Bobby said that Sasha and Naomi could wrestle against Toxic Attraction, JC Jane, and Gigi Dolan one day on NXT 2.0. I know Amazing Tribe said that too on the Raw post show. If you guys haven't seen that, but definitely, I think that would mean, it ain't the first time that Sasha has went down to NXT to face somebody as a tag or a singles competitor, because her and Io Shirai did put on an amazing match that time. I think it was a Great American Bash for NXT.
Yes.
So I think, let Naomi. I mean, Naomi's never really. She was a part of NXT, but she wasn't a part of that NXT. She was part of the Rookies and Pros. So actually being a part of on the show, I think the whole glow thing will go great with all the colors down there. And I think it'll be really, really nice. Joseph said that Natalya loves that spotlight. Her and Shayna won't rest till they make Sonya Deville happy and take those women's tag team championships from the Boss and Glow connection. So
Look, Shayna.
Shayna would be a great challenger. Great to challenge Bianca after the title for the title after the drafts. I believe so. I mean, it's not like Shayna and I mean, I don't really feel. Well, we did see Shayna and Bianca did have like a match or whatever on SmackDown during that time, but I think that if they can rekindle a feud that they had in NXT, I think that'd be really, really nice, because at the time Shayna was a champion and Bianca faced her, but she didn't win or anything of that nature. But who really knows exactly what can transpire in regards to what they can give to the women's division. But
Sonya needs to sit down. Let's just say that. Okay. Get that out of the way.
We'll get into Sonya on Monday, because she's off of SmackDown as of right now, and she's on to Raw causing chaos.
Am I gonna have to pop on Raw on the Raw after show to give my 2 cents, because I was angry Monday.
Child.
I was so angry Monday. Look, don't. I might have to pop in for a little bit. I don't know.
I am screaming. I mean, hey, if Stephanie pops up, Stephanie just pops up. Nikki said Natty's at the top of her game, and I love to see it. I've been pulling for this team for a while now, which Nikki definitely has, because when Shayna and Natty was first seen as a tag, Nikki was very ecstatic about it. So, I mean, hey, who really knows exactly what's going to happen? I wonder. I know that we did get a backstage little promo segment from Xia Li. She said that she's no longer protecting you people anymore. She's done. When she came in, she protected all of y'all, and y'all turned y'all back on her. Y'all was not appreciative of it. So she said, forget y'all. I'm the only person I'm going to protect is me. So Xia Li is no longer protecting y'all anymore. So get with the program. We had a video package for Raquel Rodriguez,
Yes,
who
ma'am.
will be making her, I guess, SmackDown debut next week. So we have that, and we also had, I guess, part 3 of Lacey Evans' story, more about, I don't think I was really listening. I was like, okay, we need to wrap this up. We need to see, when is Lacey Evans gonna pop up? What is she? Is this a fluke? Is she, like I said last week, I feel like Lacey Evans might be playing mind games on people who feel sorry for her. You know what I'm saying? I will hope that she's not doing that. But I mean, what else is she gonna give us outside of these promos? Like, is she's gonna pop up somewhere? Like, what is next for Lacey Evans, and when is she supposed to be making this triumphant return to SmackDown, since she seems like she's going to be on SmackDown? Like I don't know. Like right now I'm like, okay, what else? What are we getting at? Honestly.
Yeah, I believe this story this week was about her sort of learning how to do things herself, in terms of not really having like the stability, the type of parental stability that a normal, I guess you would say, a normal person would have, in terms of doing stuff on her own, like of learning how to come of age to be a woman and stuff like that, and how she was able to rise above that, to take herself to training and stuff like that. I feel like this chapter didn't hit as hard as the one from last week. But I am wondering when she is going to come, but it's not like for me, I'm not necessarily not hot on the stories. I actually like the stories because like I said last week and the past 2 weeks, um I sort of like the idea of us sort of having this realer version of Lacey Evans outside of the whole Southern Belle gimmick because, that's no one really, really grasped that all too much. And I feel like once you tell your actual story of everything you've been through, that's actually more attainable or accessible to people. But this story didn't hit as hard as the one from last week. But we really don't know how long her story is set to be, and they really haven't said, oh, she's going to be on here this week or next week or whenever.
Mhm.
But, it's okay, I guess. But this week didn't hit as hard as last week's.
Yeah, Sammy said that her promos are talking about backlash she faced. I honestly think she might return after that.
Oh, good
Um,
point.
it's possible. Chad said, I think Lacey is trying to be super baby face American strong woman mom. And Nikki, a singer, writer, and host, and one half of the most dominated women's tag team in women's wrestling talk history, the Salt Shaker, stated that a normal white woman, she's trying to basically say she didn't have privilege. Child, that's what I'm getting from it. I mean, hey, everybody is getting and grabbing different, points and scenarios
Mhm.
from her promos that she has been given each week. So hey, we may get another one next week, or she may not even say anything. Who really knows? I know that I think Bobby had asked a question on who will Raquel Rodriguez's first opponent on SmackDown be. That I'm very
That's a good
unsure.
question.
Who knows? It could be Shotzi. You never know. Like at this point, Shotzi hasn't been nowhere to be found. But I really don't want to see her get jobbed out or anything of that nature. But she really hasn't been found, seen at all whatsoever. So I don't know. Sam said anxiety. Don't get me started. This protector gimmick doesn't do anything now. They need to find something else for her to do. I mean, well, like she said, she's protecting herself. Meaning that don't expect her to come out when you getting your ass beat and think she's supposed to just be out there to protect you. It's not happening.
It's
Nikki
possible
believes
she
that.
might
Mhm.
revert. Like she might revert to what she was in NXT before she got called up.
I wouldn't mind that. I enjoyed what she was doing in NXT with her whole character gimmick. Maybe she'll become like this super like type of the opposite of being the protector of what she was.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the whole anime field of her, like comic field of her intro, like introduction
Yeah,
and
that was
interest and
fire.
everything. So I feel like if she was to do something like totally like opposed to like the villain or whatever, I think it would be great. I wouldn't
Mhm.
mind it. Maybe we'll see Raquel versus Aliyah. Aliyah is a little occupied with somebody else next week. Um, if you know from the spoilers, you know what we're talking about. What I'm talking about, but yeah. Chad said I already want to see Lacey versus Raquel, but I think they will have Team Babyface. It's possible. It is possible. Who really knows? Amazing Tribe said I heard Shotzi wants to leave it in her contract. Um,
Mm.
I mean, I wouldn't blame her because I mean, it's like she's not. Oh God, Stephanie,
I'm sorry.
no Lord.
I
Oh
don't
God.
want her to leave.
Yeah, but I mean, if you don't have anything for me to do. You just got me sitting back there. You don't have anything for me to do. So why should I sit here and be on the shelves? I mean, yes, of course she's still making money, but I'm like, if you love what you do, you're not going to want to just continue to just sit there and wait for
Right.
creators to have something for you. You want to go out there and actually wrestle and so on and so forth. So I mean, I don't blame her. Shout out to our TK, not the one over at AEW, but the one at WWT Trinidad. Said that y'all better like and subscribe. Hello, you're here, so go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. If
Hey
you're not
TK,
already.
we love you.
Yeah, Stephanie loves you. I like you a lot. I don't use that L word. Sammy says Shotzi is booked for live events until August 1st. I guess. Shout out to her, something like that. So I don't know. As we move forward onto the show and everything, y'all is going crazy up in here. She should wrestle on 2.0. Yeah, I guess so. Not spoil anything for next week's trial, but it's Shotzi. It's fine. Okay then. Raquel versus Lacey would be good. All right, as we move forward. Okay, so basically the aftermath of the loss that Jey Uso took in his match with Riddle, and walks in Sami Zayn asking for a proposition of will you guys protect me in some kind of way. You know what I'm saying? Drew is out here talking to RK Bro, you know what I'm saying, trying to plot a scheme or whatever. And I need you guys, the master of schemers and cheaters, to help me get out of this situation. So it looks like it worked because eventually, once we get to it, we'll talk about exactly what happened during the lumberjack match. That pure chaos. But before we got to that, of course, earlier that night, Madcap Moss had him and Happy Corbin had a little conversation backstage and whatnot, and obviously, Madcap was just like, I don't need you no more. I'm good. I got it. Like, you don't have to worry about me. Go on and do your thing, get broke again, and become happy again, whichever you prefer. And we had Madcap Moss versus Angel in a singles match since Madcap beat Umberto last week. So now this week he beat it Angel. And Happy Corbin came out there and attacked the man and took his Andre the Giant trophy. For what reason, I really don't know.
He just rude per usual.
Yeah.
You don't know what else to be in life.
That child, it's a mess. It's awful. Okay. Who was a wrestler against Angel? Where's the thing? It's Umberto. They're both cousins. That's Umberto. That's his cousin. That was next to him. But yeah. So like.
Oh, Bobby.
Yes, Bobby. Yes, I love it. I will say that to that. I love that. That is amazing. That's beautiful. But yeah, so like, I mean, of course, we're obviously going to see a Happy Corbin versus Madcap Moss feud happening as of right now. Who knows? It could happen in WrestleMania Backlash. Just a throw a match on there for the Corbin losing at WrestleMania. So now, I mean, here we are. It's I don't know. It's whatever. But
let me say, for the past 2 weeks, when Los Lotharios did their kiss cam, I haven't been able to recognize the two women. And I'm sad about that because I was making a game out of that in my head and talking about it. In the past 2 weeks, I do not know who the other two women were, and I'm upset.
Well, we do know that what we can say is that majority of the women that they're kissing on the cheek are wrestlers.
Yeah.
Let's just say that. They are. Some of them like really, really on the indies that some people are not too familiar with. I promise you social media will find them.
Yes, they will.
They definitely will find them. So, I mean, who really knows? Shoot, I'm trying to be up there. I'm not a wrestler, but, it'll be nice.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
See me up there on the kiss cam and everything.
It'll be more fun for you, though.
Child. I don't know who really knows what can transpire in that world of that. But as we as we move forward to the main event of the night, of course, the lumberjack match that took place featuring Sami Zayn and of course Drew McIntyre with a bunch of people who I have not seen in a very, very long time on a SmackDown roster fill up the ringside. And I mean, they had themselves a good old fashioned okay, now you learn. But this I guess is just a filler match or whatever. But I just feel like, this lumberjack match was not gonna go the way that Adam Pearce thought it was gonna go. It all became chaos. Sammy wouldn't stay in the ring. When Drew McIntyre would get out the ring, they would attack him. The Usos super kicked Randy Orton, and Riddle, I don't know where the hell he went to, went somewhere. And I mean, Sammy once again runs, and Jinder and Shanky come out there to attack Drew McIntyre, and you know, Shanky gets knocked down and out of nowhere, and then of course Claiborne kick goes for Jinder Mahal while Sammy is at the top of the audience yelling and screaming because Adam Pearce said, "You know what? That is it, Sammy. Once again, next week, you and Drew McIntyre will face off in a steel cage match. So you can't run away anymore. I mean, you can try.
Climb away.
It's gonna be you're gonna decline, you're gonna go through a door. There's a lot of things that are gonna transpire that I mean, Sammy, you wouldn't be able to run anymore. But it just kind of sucks for Sammy though. Like he's just been put into all these crazy situations and just getting they're making a jackass out of him, basically. It's just no pun intended. They really are. But they're really just I mean, but Sammy, he's so good at what he does that you just those who really like Sammy you just can't help but to feel sad and like you just hate that it's happening to him. But I don't know, like
Yeah, this was a free for all tonight. Honestly, I felt like it should have been a steel cage like this week. Like I feel like this match really should have been a steel cage match. But I guess I just want to keep stretching it out because Sammy just keeps running away.
gotta try for someone.
Yeah, and then of course, you know, those chickens came home to roost in terms of Randy Orton and Matt Riddle because they got attacked by the Usos too, which sort of sparked everybody fighting each other and everything. Like I thought they were gonna go to commercial for a minute and then turn it into like maybe a 10-man thing, but then it didn't happen. So I was just like, okay, fine. And then it just ended the way it ended with a no contest essentially, and with Adam saying they're gonna fight next week in a steel cage, and it just ended with Drew McIntyre posing. So hey, it's whatever.
With that sword that is a weapon. But I mean, we'll find out next week. Like I said, we have 4 matches to be exact that was announced. So that's going to be the Beat the Clock I Quit match challenge with Charlotte Flair facing her opponent and Rhonda facing her opponent, and whoever wins could possibly have the advantage over the next person. With Ricochet and Shanky for the Intercontinental Championship. I mean, let's see if Shanky could do some high flying moves. I've been waiting for a big guy like that to do a move since Omos keeps failing me every time he brings himself to the ring. He won't do a nip up. He won't do a moonsault, the phenomenal forearm. He won't jump out the ring. He just won't do anything for me. And I am sick and tired of being sick and tired. So, Shanky, you better do something that's going to excite me next week. And then, of course, the steel cage match between Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is not going to be able to run anymore, except he's going to need to be trying to run up the cage to get out, of course. Bobby said I would like to see the LA Knight have a match on SmackDown. Well, I think LA Knight is more so in the manager role right now because he's supposed to be managing Mace. Which they kind of had their little thing going on
dark match.
Yeah, dark match or I think main event. So I don't know. He's supposed to have his own little modeling agency thing going on or whatever, and so on and so forth. So yeah, that's that.
So he's gonna be like SmackDown's Robert Stone?
Or yes, basically.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
That's really exactly what it is. And why not start with somebody who people have not seen in a long time, rebrand him and get him out that stupid mask or something like that.
Yeah.
So who knows? But you guys, do you like when Drew dials and does flips?
Yes, I do.
Occasionally, it's cool. You know, it's nice to see him run around and stuff and flip on people and land on folks or whatever. I think it's nice. That's why I feel like Omos could do it, and Shanky, and all the big guys. You know, I feel like all the tall, unaverage height guys could do that. I would love to see that. But yeah, that was SmackDown. 49 minutes of that whole entire show. So let's go ahead and jump right into Rampage. So Rampage started off with, of course, Adam Cole versus Ishii for the men's qualifying match for the Owen Hart Foundation. I mean, this match was really, really good. Of course, of course, if you haven't realized that, of course, AEW and New Japan will be collaborating on a joint pay-per-view called The Forbidden Door happening in June in Chicago, Illinois. So I hope you guys are really prepared for what's about to transpire. Unfortunately, I don't think there will be any women on this card, so don't get your hopes up if you're looking for that. This is really for the men,
which is a problem.
It's depressing, but New Japan doesn't even have a women's division. If you want to look at women, I guess you got to look at Stardom or something like that. If we want to talk about the correlation or whatever, that's the only thing you're really going to get. But yeah, so Adam Cole versus Ishii in a match. It was really, really good. I mean, Ishii was not playing with Adam like at all whatsoever. I thought Adam was going to die multiple times in this match.
Right.
But then the best friends, they all came out to be on Ishii's side. I'm like, okay, well, Red Dragons, where are you? Why you guys didn't come out? But unfortunately, my faves, the King Switchblade, Jay White, the leader of the Bullet Club, came out and helped Adam Cole, and Adam Cole won the match, which I mean, I'm always happy to see Jay White come on my screen. I was very happy to see him on Wednesday, then see him again on Thursday, and then I saw him tonight, and then I'm going to see him tomorrow. So it's like, I'm getting a lot of Jay White here, and I am not mad at the fact that I get the chance to look at that beautiful man on my screen. So I hope that I get to see more of him. I got to see him in person. I got to meet him. It was everything. It was everything, I swear. But Adam Cole, he advances to the next round of the Owen Hart Foundation. I mean, we pretty much kind of knew that Ishii was probably not going to win this match. But nonetheless, it was really, really good. What did you think about it, Stephanie?
It was really good. It was very hard hitting. I enjoyed the fact that for everything that Adam Cole was trying to hit Ishii with, it was almost like there were a couple times where Ishii was kind of looking at him like, bruh, like, that's all you got? Like, come on, like, give me more. And I love that, component of wrestling where he's just like, he was a really great opponent for the tournament qualifier. Like, it was a couple times where I thought he was going to win. But of course, Adam Cole is the king of the shenanigans, and he's going to wind up on top somehow, some way. And he actually needed this win, especially after losing to Adam Page for the title in that Texas Death Match. So yeah, this match was really good, but of course, the shenanigans had to happen. So I do have a question though. If Adam Cole is his own person in AEW, why is Jay White helping him? Even though they're in different factions ish.
Well, here's the thing. So a while back, Jay White actually appeared on AEW with the hints of Adam Cole and the Young Bucks and the Red Dragons were right there. So I mean, they're pretty cool. I think they got a little partnership thing going on. I don't think Adam Cole is a part of Bullet Club or anything of that nature. I'm very, very unsure, but they're really, really good friends. I will say that. Amazing Tribe said they should make a deal with Stardom. What about the ladies of Shine Past and Present? Yeah, I think that would be that would be really cool to have for the women and whatnot. But I really doubt that they would want to, have that moment. I don't think so. I'm unsure. I really am. Okay, Wilson, you definitely need to go watch that match because it wasn't that bad. It honestly wasn't. Bobby, I like Jay White. I definitely do too. Amazing Tribe and I are gonna have beef, obviously, because he keeps disrespecting Jay White, and I don't appreciate that. Either way it go, plastic knife still cut. Okay, know that. Okay, please know that. Okay, I don't know what your issue with Jay White, but don't come over here with the shenanigans, okay?
And hasn't Jay White made some appearances on Impact, or am I tripping?
Yeah, Jay White is actually signed with New Japan, but
Okay.
he does make appearances on Impact. A lot of appearances on Impact when he's like, doing stuff there. He has, this wasn't the first time he's made an appearance on AEW. He made an appearance on AEW like a while back, had a match in there and everything. So yeah. Joseph said it felt like this match was for New Japan fans. New Japan's fans would know the Bullet Club has been feuded with Chaos. It looks like. Oh, of course, definitely. Chad said, I heard some Bullet Club Elite Red Dragon want a super faction across several promotions, which wouldn't be bad. And Nikki said, Jay White said the Bullet Club and the Undisputed Elite were going to work together, which they have been. And I mean, I feel like it would be it's very, very superior like faction here going on. You got the Bullet Club, then you got the Undisputed Elite. It's a lot of amazing talent going on here. Definitely. Yeah, Jay White's been in Impact for a minute now. He really has.
Okay, I thought so.
Yeah. So if you watch Impact, you definitely see a lot of him. I know I do. Bobby said I want to see Jay White have another match with AEW. It's possible unless they have something for him to do, which I mean he seems to be getting himself involved with a lot of stuff probably now with Adam working with Adam Cole and the Undisputed Elite. So who knows? We could see Jay White a lot more. It's possible. It's definitely possible. As we move on to our next match, which was Lance Archer versus I don't know what this guy's name is.
Serpentico.
Serpentico. I couldn't even see the
P. Yeah.
I'm like, what is this? Is this an R or a P? Okay.
Yeah.
That guy who he beat in like 3 minutes, or maybe even not even less than 3 minutes, to be honest.
Yeah, it was less than.
What I will say is Lance Archer always got the cankalon braids intact. I will say that. It's always laid to the side, no matter what kind of mohawk he chooses. His hair never seemed to disappoint. But I mean, it was a squash match. It really was. It was. This was something that could have been on AEW Dark, and it's just something I guess to give him a match or whatever. But it was awful. But he's making a statement. He's coming out to Wardlow, and him and Wardlow will have a match this Wednesday on AEW Dynamite. So make sure you check that out, as well as the post show featuring the Dynamite Dolls, Mika and Al, who are attacked now. I think I'm not sure, but they are with the Dynamite Dolls for AEW Dynamite. Joseph said this was a whatever match. To me, this was more about plugging how Maxwell and Shawn Spears are looking forward to Wednesday. Yeah, basically have because they have their whole beef and everything with Wardlow. So I mean, why not have someone like Lance Archer?
And how they don't want to say Wardlow's name because they don't talk about Wardlow. No.
They've made him
nameless. Wardlow. Don't sue us.
They've made him nameless. But here I will call that man by his name. I will. That man
call him by his name.
I am sorry.
I'm just full of music today.
I believe it. I definitely believe it. We also had Tony Schiavone had an interview with Keith Lee and Swerve, which honestly, can I just say there was a lot of things going on that I feel like I was looking at Rampage, but then I feel like I wasn't looking at Rampage. I feel like I missed like 2 segments, and then the main event was here. And I'm like, was I not watching this show or what? Like, I don't know where my attention span went, but I promise you, I feel like I didn't even see Keith Lee and Swerve.
Well, I did. Did you hear any of what was said?
I don't know what they said. I don't know anything that they said.
Well, I do.
Okay, what happened?
I can do it. Okay, so basically Keith was upset and he was angry at Team Taz and everything, and he was getting so bent out of shape. Like, he almost said a whole bunch of curse words and talked about how much he wanted to beat them up or whatever. And then Swerve was like, hey, calm down. And he was like, Tony, he's very perturbed right now. He was like, that's one of them words that you taught me last week, perturbed. And they were basically saying that they were ready to fight Team Taz. And then Powerhouse Hobbs came out to commentary where Ricky Starks was, and they basically started screaming at each other back and forth, and that was it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was one of these segments that I missed. The other segment that I missed that I really wanted to see was Tony Javon speaking to the women's tournament qualifiers, Jamie Hayter, Toni Storm, and Britt Baker. I did not see this. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what happened, but I don't even remember seeing this. So, Stephanie, do you mind telling the audience again what happened in this?
Yeah, I can go ahead and do that too. Okay. So basically what happened with the women, Tony was backstage, and Toni Storm was on his right side, and Jamie Hayter and Dr. Britt Baker DMD was on his left side, and he was asking them, how they felt about facing each other. Now, you know that Jamie and Dr. Britt, of course, are going to be on each other's side, so they weren't really saying anything bad about each other. And Britt started off talking about how one of them was going to come out on top and how it wasn't going to be Toni Storm. But then Tony was like, so I guess you don't understand, where I've been, what I've done, and all that I've accomplished. And basically, she basically said to Jamie that I'm going to see you in the tournament if you last that long. And then basically said the same thing to Britt Baker. And Jamie basically made a dig at Toni Storm after she left by saying, she leaves. That's what she always does. And that was it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, they was going crazy on my girl Toni Storm, and I don't like that. Don't come for Toni, okay? I am here for Toni Storm. I am, but don't get me wrong. I'm here for all of the shenanigans and so on and so forth for the women's thing. I believe that
Toni
Jamie
actually told her to shut up too. So
good. Shut up. I am very ecstatic to see Jamie and Toni Storm in the match. They kind of relive their feud from the Indies and so on and so forth. So I mean, I think that'd be great. And of course, Nikki's favorite, DMD, of course. But I will have to say that Toni is probably going to beat the hell out of Britt Baker. It's possible. So me and Nikki gonna be on the opposite sides. We are, but we do want them to be in the finals. We do want Toni Storm and Britt to be in the finals. I feel like it's a must that they be in the finals somehow, some way. Joseph said basically Dr. Britt was okay. So basically what Stephanie just told me. Okay. So I do remember before we get to one of these final two matches of the night, I did catch Hook. He spoke for the first time in my eyes that I saw.
Right.
I was very shocked. I was like, how old is he again? I started asking questions. I started asking a lot of questions like, how old is he again? Because he has a very, very deep voice. And I'm like, yeah, that's definitely a New Yorker. I tell you that.
Like, God.
He has a very deep voice. And I was like, you want my attention? You got it now. And I was like, oh, let me step back right quick. Dan Housen, you weren't here with me. He's 22. He's a youngin', Lord. I'm not that old either, but he's a youngin'. I'm still in my 20s, so still in my little 20s. But
I'm on my way out, so
yeah, I still got some years to go, but I got some years to go. But I'm still he's still young, but that voice not. So
he could be my brother. He literally could be my little brother. My sister's about to turn 21 this year, so he could be my kid brother. So
yeah, I can be a mini cougar.
Woo! All right, let's keep it.
All right. So he spoke, and of course Danhausen got some Lay's plain chips in his hand. The big bag, the family size bag at that. Like, hello. But I think that they're supposed to have their match on Wednesday. So I mean, I'm excited to see what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited to see what transpires. You know, he's been after Hook for a minute now. One time he showed up in his Fashion Nova outfit, which was really nice. He should have dropped the link in the comment section to let me know where he got it from, because I definitely enjoyed it. I am very calm. Thank you very much. Trust me. I only go crazy over a few of my favorite wrestlers, and that's about it. So I'm very calm. Okay, not aroused at all. But yes, I mean, hey, Hook spoke, and I don't even. Listen, it's Friday night. It's the weekend. There are some things that happen over here on the app on this show that you may not see elsewhere. So
Women's wrestling talk uncut.
very much so. It's
Coming
very uncut
through.
over here. Maybe it's not that uncut, but it gets a little PG-14 sometimes. Well, 13 actually. It gets a little PG-13, maybe not rated or like y'all want or TVMA. But it's definitely not for everybody. I'll tell you that much. I will tell you that much. Okay. I can say a lot of things on here, but I'm not going to do that. I'm gonna let y'all know that right now. I can't. I won't. I can, but I'm not going to, because I don't need y'all to be trying to drag me in a comment section like, girl, you going crazy. So I'll say that. But yeah, so shout out to Hook for speaking for the first time. I hope he speaks more. I live for the deep voices, especially when you have an accent like the New Yorkers, the New Yorkers, the definitely the guys from New Orleans. You might have me. You might have me. I swear. You
Hey,
might.
Alabama man got good ones too now.
I mean, listen. I live for the Southern voices. I really do. Like,
Yes.
amen. Amen, amen, amen. As we move forward to the next match, just happens to be Daniel Garcia versus Uncle Eddie Kingston,
Woo!
beating up his nephew for the night. Well, technically, Daniel was beating the hell out of Eddie Kingston. I'm not even
He
gonna lie.
was.
He was literally in the corner stomping on that old man with the big boots on.
He called the
So
Holy Ghost on that man.
he really did. And I was like, yes, Daniel, beat that old man up. Cause why is he everybody knows I'm not the biggest Eddie Kingston fan. I want to fight the man myself. So but Daniel Garcia though, fire. For real. Seen him in person. The man eyed me, I eyed him, and I was like, oh, all right, I'm a fan. But yeah, he's a really good wrestler, and everything like that. They pretty much banned Jericho Appreciation out of the stadium, the venue tonight, so they couldn't come in. So I mean, Eddie was getting his ass whooped, but he came out with the win, and I thought he was gonna whoop him because he had that belt around. I was like, hold on now, what you do? What is you doing?
Right.
Don't
It was
don't
giving me
try to whip
flashbacks.
Daniel. Okay, I will come through the screen. Okay, don't try to whip him. Chad said, "Curse my uncultured Arizona accent." Just kidding. you
Oh.
know, I've never heard anyone from Arizona before, like never. So I really don't know. I don't know what you guys sound like. I really don't. Never heard anyone from Little Rock. I think y'all may have like average voices. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe I should go like YouTube might have like different voices from places. Like maybe I need to go listen to some people from Arizona. I can definitely tell you what people from Baltimore sound like. Horrible. Um, especially. I mean, it's an awful accent. I tell you, the U's be killing them for real. But yeah. So what did you think about that match with Daniel and his uncle fighting in the front yard?
It was a lot. Like it was just a lot of fighting, and then there was, of course, that one point where they went to picture in picture, and it was hard
Child.
to pay attention because it always is for me. But the parts I did see was definitely like Daniel Garcia just catching a hold of ghosts and stomping on that man's chest. And then of course Eddie Kingston even pulling down his onesie at one point to,
Yeah.
just start punching him and stuff like that. Like he is a brawler. And really, I feel like that's really what ultimately won out here is just the fact that he's a brawler, and then
Mhm.
you have Daniel Garcia who has all this other extra stuff too. But sometimes you just gotta take some time to actually beat up your opponent and just grind them down, and that's what Eddie Kingston did. So, and he almost beat him with a belt to try to like send a message
Mhm.
to Chris Jericho too. So, but he didn't do it, and I'm glad he didn't because I didn't feel like seeing that tonight. So,
Definitely.
yeah,
Lord. But
I
yeah, I
wasn't
mean,
in that type of mood tonight. So, yeah.
not at all. But I mean, it was nice to see Chris Jericho. But Chris Jericho, God, the dark hair. His hair is dark now, like brown. I'm like,
Yeah, it's different.
I love it. Like he didn't. He's not blonde. He's like a brunette now. So I'm like, Chris, this is why you was my first crush when I first started watching wrestling. You was the first guy I laid my eyes on, and till this day, nothing changes at
Wow.
all whatsoever. Like if I ever got the chance to meet Chris Jericho, I would tell him, I was like, look, when I was younger, you was my first wrestling crush, like all day. The ponytail got me from the jump, and the way you used to thrash Stephanie McMahon and Triple H and everybody else, that was my favorite. I enjoyed it, and I still enjoy it today. So yeah, that was that match between Daniel and Eddie, and I don't know. I guess he can send a message or whatever, whatever he tried to do, whatever. Who knows? Um, and then we move on to our main event, of course, which happens to be Jade Cargill versus Marina Shafir for the TBS Championship. Honestly, this match it wasn't that bad, to be honest. Like I know that for the course of the time that we've discussed Jade, and I've talked about how she's not that great in the ring, but there has been a lot of improvement that she has been showing since being in the ring. There is a lot of growth in her, and I'm excited. She's now 30-0. Like, who can dethrone Jade Cargill? She has her baddie section going on, of course, with the two girls she already beat up, Red Velvet and Kira Hogan. I mean, if you can't beat them, stand with them. And I mean, I like this little thing. I mean, it's all black girl thing. They're making little TikTok videos together. It's really like it's like your Mean Girls, but in a black version of it. Of course, Jade Cargill is your Regina George, and one of them could play one of the dumb ones. But it's really cute. I'm kind of liking it. Like they're the baddies, despite continue to have like your baddies section, but they are the co-baddies in charge basically. So they're like, I think it's really cute. But this match was pretty good, and unfortunately, Marina Shafir, her streak is now gone, and Jade is still undefeated. Um, so it's like, okay, who will Jade next opponent be, and who can dethrone Jade Cargill?
Mm.
Who can it be?
Deanna Purrazzo.
I mean, if Deanna chooses to go do some stuff in AEW, then I mean it's possible. But I mean, who really knows, honestly? And when you have Deanna and you got Britt somewhere in the corner who has been pushing to face Deanna Purrazzo, I mean, I don't know. Maybe Deanna can be a triple champion. Um, Hold all the gold. You come over there, take the TBS title. You already got the Reina de Reinas champion, and you're holding the ROH champion.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, why not let her hold all of them?
Yeah, like this match was really impressive. I'm glad. I feel like something that I feel like we really didn't get to see a whole lot of in NXT was a lot of what Marina Shafir could do in the ring.
Yeah.
And I don't know exactly why that was or why that is. I think that's just something that might remain a mystery.
Mhm.
But she did hold her own pretty well in this match. I loved her submissions and
Mhm.
everything. And then I even loved how she was just I even loved how she was getting bullied in the sense how Jay would just throw her out and then all the baddies would throw popcorn at her.
It was
Like that
hilarious.
was really funny. And then even seeing Jay try to like smash her through the table.
Mhm.
Um and just seeing them fight back and forth with each other because you could see that Marina was more than what Jade kind of bargained for because Jade was kind of
Mhm.
like ignoring her and saying like she's not worth it, this is just gonna be a squash. But Marina showed her like real quick, like, yo, this is not gonna be a squash. Like, this is it. I'm gonna give you the best of me. And that's
Mhm.
exactly what Marina did, but she still came up short. Um
Yeah.
Jade solved the problem. I mean,
Mhm.
and that's where we're at now. And it ended with her on top, buried in money and
Mhm.
balloons. So yeah,
Here
Jade
we
is still
are.
that girl.
Yeah, I mean, she definitely is, and it definitely shows. She's 30 and old once again, where she pretty much kind of started at when she was, doing her reigns from there, her undefeated streak. And now as champion, she's still undefeated. So I mean, it's just like, this title is really made for Jay, but it's like eventually, like, would they want to take it off her? Who really, really knows? To be honest, like it's just wild. I know Joseph said that Jade is being pushed like the female Goldberg. How high will Tony Khan take it before she finally loses? I mean,
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, who really knows? Bobby said he would like to see Jade Cargill versus Abaddon for the TBS title. I think that'll be quite interesting.
Abaddon
Um,
scares me, but I get it.
I love Abaddon. I'm here for it. Um,
She's so scary.
Yeah, she's quite interesting. Bobby said maybe Marina will have a match for on her quality match. I don't think she will. I think as of right now, they pretty much have their semifinals, which are the women who are already included, and they're pretty much probably going to be starting the qualifying matches again for the semifinals and to lead up to Double or Nothing because the finals is happening at Double or Nothing. It is. Um, Chad said he thinks Sheeta can defeat Jade if she wins Deep Feud and the Owen Hart tournament. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's possible. Bobby Hope said Marina gets signed with AEW and Amazon Amazing Tribe. I don't know I can call you Amazon, but Amazing Tribe said, I want to see the Forbidden Door open for Naomi and Deanna with all women world championships on the line when it takes all. Child, that's a lot that could transpire. Bobby says, I think Chris Stanlander could beat Jade Cargill for the title. Of course, Nikki with the DMD every time we speak of Britt Baker. And amazing try with the spelling out Naomi's name in the comment section as well. It's I love it. You guys are something else. But yeah, that was the main event for Rampage, and it comes to an end for the closing of the SmackDown and Rampage post show.
Yeah.
So I hope you guys thoroughly enjoyed it. Nikki says Britt versus Deanna, nobody else. Like I said, Britt has been pushing since the Forbidden Door is considered to be open, pushing to face Deanna Purrazzo in a match. So I mean, well, we really never know where this Forbidden Door could take us. But I really wouldn't be upset if we could see that match. The Forbidden Door should include Deanna and Brand. We were robbed when the door was open between AEW and Impact. Yeah,
Right.
definitely was robbed for those who are a fan of both of those ladies and actually keep up with their work on their respective brands. But yeah, Bobby said, I would like to see more Penelope Ford on AEW. Yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of people would. One of our writers, Abby, wrote an amazing article on Penelope Ford saying that she deserves more. So definitely look on our website and check that out if you haven't. It's a really, really nice read on why Penelope Ford deserves more, our super bad girl. But yeah, Like I said, that brings us to the end of our Rampage, SmackDown and Rampage after show. I hope you guys thoroughly enjoyed it as usual and hanging out with us on your Friday/Saturday midnight thing for those who are on the East Coast, and those like myself who are on Central Time, and those who are on Pacific. Thank you guys for joining us on tonight. Chad said he wants to see D versus Jade in an even non-title match. I know that Jade said that she did want to face Serena soon. Naomi versus Deanna. Now, Amazing Tribe. Naomi is not going to be in any type of matches over there if it's not dealing with WWE. Yeah, maybe you can put that on your 2K22 universe mode and do something like that for Naomi and Deanna. That's the only way you're gonna get that match. Before we get on out of here, Stephanie, let everyone know where they can follow you at.
Well, as usual, you guys can follow me, your girl Stephanie Hardy, on Instagram and Twitter at Queen Steph Hardy. And you can also follow my podcast, The Hardy Wrestling Podcast, on Instagram at Hardy Wrestling Podcast and on Twitter at Hardy Wrestle Pod. And listen to the Hardy Wrestling Podcast everywhere you get your podcasts.
Mm-hmm. And of course, with me, make sure you guys do follow Women's Wrestling Talk on all social media platforms. Make sure you check out our website, www.talkpod.com. We have some amazing articles that's going out every day, interviews. Make sure you check out our YouTube channel if you haven't seen the Wives of Wrestling podcast, Kim Orton and Giovanna Engel. They had the interview was amazing with Nikki, Emily, and TK interviewing those women. It was a lot of penises being thrown around in there. So if you enjoyed that, I'm pretty sure we got a little PG-13, maybe a little rated R over there for you guys. You can handle it. So make sure you check out that interview. Next month is Asian Pacific Islander Heritage Month. So here when Women's Wrestling Talk, we will be highlighting those women of Asian and Pacific Islander heritage. So make sure you guys be on the lookout for all the women that we do highlight during the month of May. It's coming up soon. So make sure you guys get yourself prepared for that. As for me, of course, you already know you can Google me, Driune Santana. And that's where you'll find me at. The only social media I'm giving out as of right now, you guys can check out my photography page used by Santana. And that's where I've been posting a lot of my pictures that I took over WrestleMania weekend.
They're great pictures.
Thank you. For mostly it's Impact. I'm still not done posting yet. I'm posting. Probably the last post I probably make is like this coming Tuesday. It's probably the last post I will make for now. I got a bunch of other things that I'm preparing for. So it's not only going to be wrestling there. It's going to be like concerts and like different events that I go to. So yeah, I'm getting a little practice in because for SummerSlam, I do want to challenge myself to see how well I would do taking pictures at SummerSlam. So that is the ultimate goal as of right now for me. So make sure you guys check that out. I am screaming. Okay. But yeah, once again, thank you guys so much for joining us, and we will see you guys next Friday. Make sure that you come back tomorrow. We will have the Rebellion after show. Impact Wrestling have their pay-per-view Rebellion. It's going to be a lot to dig in, I tell you that. On Sunday, it's Turnbuckle Glam once again. And then Monday, of course, it's a Raw post show. Wednesday, AEW Dynamite with the Dynamite Dogs, Mika and Al. Come back again on Thursday for the news with me and TK, or me and whoever chooses to do the news, because sometimes we're there, sometimes we're not. And then, of course, Impact post show with, of course, the Salt Shakers. And then on Friday, once again, me and Stephanie here giving you SmackDown and Rampage. And hopefully Rampage bless us with being at 6 o'clock for us and not at 9, because that'll be better.
We'll be here.
I don't know why Stephanie is whispering. I don't know.
I don't know.
I thought she turned to a yin yang twin. I don't know, but
God, no. No.
I don't.
I'm just being silly. I just don't mind me, guys. I'm just being goofy right now. This is my personality. I'm silly.
Well, you're definitely seeing a lot of Stephanie, I swear. But once again, thank you guys so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Bye, y'all.
Good night.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.